Welcome to the Mismatch. I'm Chris Vernon, and joining me as he does every week from TheRinger.com is Dave Jacoby. Jacoby!
Verno, we had a ton of games on Wednesday night. Only one game in the association this evening. We will not be giving live updates on the Suns-Clippers matchup.
Oh, and I know that our listenership is going to be super disappointed about that. We do have some news to get to. The first big news is LeBron James. Tell me what I need to know.
He's a basketball player who's now playing basketball, apparently, and he's going to be reevaluated in 1 to 2 weeks from his sciatica thing. And they say that he's, looking at doing basketball activities, which is always something I love to hear. I just want more specifics, like what, dribbling? I don't know. And 5-on-5, and he's not going on their road trip with an eye on him returning after that. But, 7-2 Lakers are looking pretty good without him.
The Lakers have had a great thing going, and so now inevitably we're going to get the drama, right? If he comes back and Austin Reeves is not what he does,
awesome.
Right?
Oh, God.
Well, Luka's been amazing. Reeves has been amazing. The team's been popping the ball around. They got that monster game out of DeAndre Ayton earlier this week. Like, the vibes with the Lakers have been unbelievable so far this year. Something that I talked about earlier in the week on this very show. And I was like, man, they just got good vibes. They got, when you have these games where a Nick Smith Jr. comes in and is dropping 25, they had 6 guys score 25 points within like a week's time. Crazy stuff.
2 games, I want to say. I think it's the first time it ever happened in the league or something. Wild.
And so how much can LeBron James help at this point with what's gone on so far? Never a question that we thought we would be talking about, but it is kind of crazy how good they have played thus far and how many guys have been playing unbelievable basketball and how good the vibes have been that now you are inserting something that is, he's a ball dominant player, right? And so for sure things will adjust. And where does he slip in the pecking order of the way things go? And is that best for the team? Because what they've had going thus far, we will never know how sustainable it is. But him coming back into the fold does add a different wrinkle into whatever they're going to be doing.
You're listening to The Mismatch, presented by FanDuel. FanDuel now displays your bets directly on your phone's lock screen. And with the latest updates to the live events and player pages, it's never been easier to be part of the game. And Missouri, get excited because FanDuel's coming your way December 1st. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app now and play your game. Remember, you must be 21 and over and present in select states, or 18 and over and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. This coming back to earth, and we don't have to spend too much time on the Lakers and LeBron because Lord knows there's plenty of outlets doing that.
Yes.
But what's really done, everyone wants to talk about Austin Reeves and Luka. I'm just really watching their games being like, Marcus Smart is contributing left and right. Almost lost the game for him. And then we got LaRavia. He's doing stuff. Ayton looks bad. I had very low expectations for Ayton, and I think that he will come back to earth, but he has proven to be a capable piece in the center for him. It's interesting.
You want a moment of honesty from Chris Vernon?
Always.
I watched him the other night, and I was like, I'd take him back.
Marcus and LaRavia? Of course.
I know. That was the last year's trade deadline.
Of course.
Could
of course
use them.
You would.
Could use them.
Of course. I haven't seen Marcus Smart play like this in years.
Well, we certainly didn't hear.
Yeah.
But they have been fantastic thus far. The Lakers have truly been a very good story. I went to a basketball game last night. I went to the Houston Rockets versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Not a game that I was expecting the home team to win, given that they were A, reeling, B, 9.5-point underdogs, and C, playing against a team that they are clearly not nearly as good as. And seeing that Rockets team up close and personal was certainly very revealing to me, to watch them and how they conduct themselves. It's There's a lot of, we can space out the floor. We can give it to a guy that can win his individual matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And if he is requiring extra attention, he then could dish off to someone else. And this chemistry that Şengün and Amen Thompson have is just absolutely off the charts. I mean, you see where they get the ball to Şengün kind of in that high post operating area, and then next thing you know, Amen Thompson's in the dunker spot, and he could just finish anything.
That's my first love. We're doing loves and lows today. Is Şengün's passing? I think that he always sort of jumped off the page because he would have these highlight passes, these sort of like behind the back how could you see him cutting thing? But without Van Vliet, they're using him in that Draymond role, the short roll right in the middle of the floor, 15 feet from the basket with options all over the place. And whether it's him drawing a second and Thompson being wide open for some weird alley-oop or layup thing or Eason, or, they really don't. And they've got Kevin Durant there who's got his own gravity and like sort of magnetism and attention that he's getting from the defense. And Şengün, he can score on pretty much anybody. He's either going to be better or bigger than anybody you put in front of him. And those highlight passes are fun, but like 7 assists, 9 assists. He's averaging over 7 assists. And a lot of it is just sort of like manipulating the defense and putting pressure on them to make a decision with him as the sort of hub of the wheel with options left and right.
And it is going to be interesting if that stalls out against the best teams in fourth quarters. When we think about them at the highest level, right?
Mm-hmm.
The highest level, right? Will the lack of point guard have a ceiling? Thus far, it has not been so because they have been shooting threes at an unbelievable clip. Going into last night, they were shooting 45% as a team from three.
Dude, have you seen Tari Eason?
Right.
He's shooting like 60%.
And then they also retrieve their misses. And one of the things that I've thought about quite a bit, not only do they have outstanding rebounders and size, and Steven Adams has been a great rebounder for every team, it is also that idea that we talked about with Kurt Goldsberry saying there are more threes rebounded than twos. At least that was the truth last year for the first time ever in a season. There was more rebounds coming from 3-point shots than 2-point shots.
So,
well, imagine if my whole team is 6'9", right? Those long rebounds when I've got athletes and I've got that size, like a lot of times, like the Steven Adams stuff, generally those rebounds and the Şengün stuff are going to be around the basket. They rebound at every quarter of every quadrant of the court. They're able to get the ball. And so outstanding offensive rebounding. And again, you don't even have to shoot as high a percentage if you get more possessions. And that's been the trick so far. And that's why they've been the number one offensive rated team in the NBA.
And they shoot the second least 3-point attempts a game. I was pretty shocked by that. When you have an offensive with that kind of firepower scoring that many points in today's NBA, I think that there was a little bit of an overreaction last year to the quantity of 3-point shots that were going up because some of the best teams last year and this year, the highest scoring teams, don't take all that many threes. I think they're taking 30 a game or something. I'll take a look right now. Yeah, they're shooting like 30 a game.
Right. Well, and in fact, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get into, since we're doing loves and lows, I'm going to get into my first love. Since you did Şengün's passing, I'm going to do how teams are scoring. That so far this season, when you look up and down the list of NBA offensive efficiency so far this year, you are going to find you're going to find the Rockets, you're going to find the Nuggets, you're going to find the Sixers, you're going to find the Knicks, you're going to find the Hornets, the Lakers. There's a bunch of these teams that are up there at the top. And then I went and looked. So when you go to like any of the shot quality sites, etc., what you are going to find is one of the markers is rim and three rate, right? So, and this is one of the things we talked about where basketball became lay it up or tray it up. Mm-hmm. Like this is what everybody was trying to get to the rim, protect the rim, and everybody was trying to get corner threes and threes, right? And if you would go and you would look at the shot charts that our buddy Kurt Goldsberry would put out. It's like all these dots all the way around the arc and then a bunch of dots in the paint, and that's what it was, right? And so it was lay it up or tray it up. And so one of the ways they chronicle this is rim and three rate. What percentage of my shots are at the rim and from the three-point line, if I'm explaining this as easily as it can be, right? Mm-hmm. Well, go look at rim and three rate, and what you're going to find is that Houston and Denver and the Lakers, these teams, they're all like 27, 28, 29. They're all at the bottom of the league.
It's crazy.
In terms of rim and three rate. So how is that, right? This was the way, your most efficient offense, right? This is the way basketball has been going. But one of the things that Adam Silver has talked about when he has attempted to be patient about it is saying, look, these things cycle through. These things change. Well, at least through the first 10% of the season, it has proven that these things do change, right? So if everybody is laying it up or traying it up, then everybody's defense is then going to start being built to guard the basket and the three-point line. Mm-hmm. Now you're going to have to find a new way. So now we're going to have to find a new way that we're going to score. And in fact, also not high on rim and three rate last year was last year's unbelievable NBA champion, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They were like kind of middle of the pack, that team. Right. And so now this year, though, but you have like it so far, and again, we'll see if this holds. You do have, in many cases, an inverse, which is the teams with these very low rim and three rates are the ones that are having the best offensive years thus far. And these teams that are able to probe within the three-point line, but maybe not get all the way to the rim. And so just keep an eye on it. But one of the things the reason I say I'm loving this is because the more teams that play different ways, the better.
Yes.
And we had kind of gotten very copycat where everybody was kind of doing the same thing, right? Go get the paint touch, kick out, rotate, shoot a three. Mm-hmm. Come down on a fast break, shoot a three. Get a 2-for-1, shoot the three. Like, you know what I mean? Or get all the way to the basket. But the good shots were rim shots and three-pointers. Those are the best shots you can get in basketball. Then everybody said, we're not going to let you make a bunch of shots at the rim, and we're not going to let you take a bunch of uncontested threes. Therefore, you're going to have to make hay within this other range. And so far, the best teams in the league, that's exactly what they are doing, and I love it.
I remember it was Rick Carlisle said that the post-up was the worst offensive possession in basketball, and I think I've seen more post-ups so far this year than I certainly saw last year. Right. And that's not an accident. And the Bulls are one of the biggest stories of the beginning of the season. You know, you look at their distance of the percentage of their shots that come at the rim, which is basically like 0 to 3 feet. Their 36% of their shots come basically at the rim, and second on that list is the Spurs, who are 31.
Wow.
Like, it's wild. And it's one of those things where it's just kind of like, maybe we're overthinking this. Like, if you shoot near the basket, you're more likely to make the basket. Like, you are. But what's been fascinating is that, like, they're kind of getting to those mid-range floaters, right? You're seeing a lot of guys just get to the elbow. When you think, when I tell you, tons of dunks. You know what I mean? No. What is the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander shot? If I said, what is the Gilgeous-Alexander shot? A step back midi. Right. What is the Jalen Brunson shot? What is the you can go on and on and on. It's a foul shot. Jalen Brunson's shot is a foul shot. It's a foul shot. I mean, you can think about so many of the good players right now. Kevin Durant. One of the best scorers of all time, if not the best scorer of all time. He's constantly working in the mid-range. And so I think what's interesting is that these teams that are like super offensively potent, that has not necessarily been that hasn't been the method in which that has produced the best offensive NBA teams. And at least thus far this year,
when you're looking and you're seeing Denver and Houston and the Lakers, teams that have been obscenely offensively potent metrically this year, when they're 27, 28, and 29 in rim and three rate, that tells you basketball is being played differently in some quarters.
Yes. And there was legit concern last year, and after the Celtics win the championship, and then Missoula was just like, we're just going to fire up threes. There was sort of an idea that was going to be the next era, we'll call it, the next window of 2 or 3 years of offensive basketball. And it's already zagged, and there's already been a backlash. And whether that's defenses adjusting or not having rosters that like shoot the lights out, you know what I mean? Like a lot of these teams don't have like a bunch of thumpers from three that provide that kind of spacing.
Well, and the other thing is, like you said, 2 years ago, Boston shooting, it would not be rare at all to see them have 50 attempts. Yeah. And you just told me the best offensive team in the NBA thus far this year is shooting, 30? Did you say 30?
Something like that.
I mean, it's 20 less, bro.
Yeah.
Not like marginally less, way less.
It's crazy.
And then but then honestly, 42% of the shots they miss, they get the ball back anyway. So what does it matter?
Yeah, good point. Yeah, they shoot 30 exactly 30 on the dot. The Rockets.
Unbelievable.
And they are, but the Rockets are going to come back to earth offensively. Like some of the
sure,
some
it's
of these guys
unsustainable to shoot 45% as a team.
Yes, and like Okogie's shooting over like 50-60%, and like Tari Eason. It's just like these guys are just like really, really. It felt like Reed Shepherd was their only sort of like threat from three.
Oh no, they all are.
Now everybody is. Yeah, and they look good. Remember you mentioned the vibes of the Lakers and how they're good and they're happy, and it feels like the Memphis vibes are a little down. Just throwing that out.
Oh my
there.
God,
it feels like they're a little down.
Feels like
little down, maybe a little down, Verno. Feels down.
You should have seen at the beginning of the game. It's like 14-5 or whatever it was. They were down 9. I mean, it felt like a funeral. I mean, it's just it was so bad. It was so bad. Like, it's just, and again, one of the things I always say is, look, there's 73 games left, right? You're always a half or a game away from being happy again, from things turning around. Like, if they beat Dallas tomorrow night, people will be like, oh, okay, everything's going to be okay, right? They got back on track, I'd
be more concerned about losing to Dallas.
Well, right. Oh, and then that would be a disaster.
Yeah.
Well, because that Sunday...
This is like the Bad Vibes Championship against Dallas.
It's a grudge match. They're going to be in the octagon. No, I mean, the vibes are terrible. It's been a horrendous week. And so hopefully the horrendous week is out of the way early in the season. What's your hope?
Do we know anything more? Do we know anything more?
I will say Morant was I know, look, the entire NBA echo chamber is about Morant. And look, we've been through this 100 million times when you're in Memphis, right? Ja does something goofy. Like, there's even a chart that goes around amongst Memphis fans, and it's like, Ja does something minor. Everybody freaks out. Ja's going to be traded. Team's going to be relocated.
Yep.
Back to the beginning, right?
And then they're the 2 seed.
Right? And then it's just a circle, right? So, I mean, we've been through it many, many times. It's certainly very equipped to deal with drama in this town. That being said, last night was odd because they lost the game. The vibes feel terrible. Everything feels disjointed. Jaren Jackson Jr. takes one shot in the first half of the game. It's like, what planet is this? And then after the game, every single one of them said the exact most teamwork, professional, we're going to put our heads down, get to work, get through this. I need to be better. This falls on me. It starts with me. Like, this is what Morant was saying last night. Interestingly enough, got absolutely no media attention, right? Like it's not going to get any media. It's not going to get any media attention when the guy stands up, right? It's not nearly as fun as they got to get rid of him. He's got to get out of Memphis.
The finger pointing and
he needs to go to the Miami Heat. They need to relocate the team. Like that's not as fun. But he did. He stood there with reporters last night and was like, "I need to be better. This starts with me. This falls on me, and I will be." I mean, and again, no, it's all words, right? Actions matter much more than words. But he did, and Jackson and everybody else that talked said everything right that you would want to hear for a team that's lost 4 in a row and looks like absolute hell. And they're supposed to get Zach Edey back next week. And I think that they kind of know at least a little help's on the way. Because, they lost 4 guys going into the season that they thought were going to be players for them. Ty Jerome, Scottie Pippen Jr., Brandon Clark, and Zach Edey. That's 4 of the top 8 guys that you would be playing. And it's hard to lose 4 of 8 of your top guys. And so at least one of them should theoretically be back in the fold next week. He's practiced with the team twice. He's gone through walkthroughs. He may very well play for the G League team over the weekend. But, then that's one more guy at least that goes into the starting lineup that might help things. And so, I mean, they sound like they think they can turn things around. But if you watch them play, it's like, God, this is vibeless. And everybody looks sad and miserable.
Yeah. The Rockets did not feel challenged at all.
No, they weren't challenged at all.
At all.
They weren't challenged. And they are fantastic.
Yes.
So when you get a bad team who's struggling and the vibes are bad playing against a team like that, it's a bad combo, brother.
I love watching the Rockets. I absolutely love it. If you watch the Bucks or something, it's like you kind of know what's going to happen on every possession. Like Giannis is going to put his head down and spray out to a shooter, but the Rockets have so many weird toys to play with. It's such different games like Sengun and Durant and Thompson and Eason. It's just I love the Rockets. I love it.
All right. What's your first loathe?
Oh, going back and forth. I like that.
Yeah. You said you wanted to do it that way.
Okay. We usually don't listen to me, so I'm a little taken aback.
Yes, I do.
Got a victim I put this on the rundown before our current colleague and my former Grantland brethren, Danny Chow, put up a post on theringer.com about how the last 2 games in particular, defenses have switched up their Wemby coverage. And I think this got a lot of attention last night.
You couldn't wait to hate on Wemby.
You
couldn't wait.
If I could go negative on Wemby, I will. Because Luis Binyama he's had a couple tough ones recently. In 4-14 against the Suns, made 1 jump shot. He didn't have a bucket until the end of the second quarter, and he had 4 points in the fourth.
All right, I'm going to tell you something, and this relates back to what we were just talking about, right? I make no excuses for anybody. People have to perform. People have to be great, right? But when I told you that Memphis, most of these people that comment on Memphis have literally 0% chance of naming their starting lineup. None of them. They've never watched the team, and then they comment on it, right? When John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. have to play against 2 and 3 and 4 defenders because nobody gives a shit about anybody else on the court, it's a very difficult way to operate.
And Wemby's learning that.
And nobody cares about Jalen Wells, and nobody cares about Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and nobody cares about Jock Landale, and for good reason, because they haven't made you. And this is now what Wemby is going to learn. Go ahead. If we lose to Champagne, we lose to Champagne. But this guy's not killing us tonight.
Well,
and that's what it is when you are a star and you are the guy that gets the attention. It makes your life hell, but your teammates have to be awesome. They've got to make the defense pay. End of story. And for a long time now, and especially without Harper now,
well, I think Harper and Fox, when there's no Harper and there's no Fox there,
they're all going to make them do it. They're just going to sell out on Wemby and say, if we lose to the others, we lose to the others.
And, you saw it. you saw a lot of it was Royce Young, a lot of that in the Phoenix game, who was on him, and they put Smart on him a little bit, and they had like LaRavia kind of bothering it. They could take a little guy and put him out there in the perimeter, and then have your big just be right there to help. If he catches it with his back to the basket, double, and he still sort of hasn't figured out how to really take advantage of him being doubled, because with his height and intelligence, I do not. I much like Danny put in his article, I think that this is a blip on the Wemby radar. This is not. This is not like the antidote to the 7'5" freak. You know what I mean? It's a blip on the radar. An absolute blip.
There's also going to be inevitably within the next week the team that decides they're not going to double, and he's going to be like, okay, and he's going to have like 40 and 20.
Yeah, we saw some of those games early in the season.
Saw it.
We saw some of those games early in the season, and he's still not taking tons of jump shots or threes like he was last year. It's just he's just having more trouble getting to his comfortable places and getting easy baskets.
You see this every single year in the playoffs. Every year. It's part of the maturation of where we will say, what's wrong with Anthony Edwards? What's wrong with this guy? What's wrong with that? And it's like, what's wrong with him is that every time he picks his head up, he sees two defenders. Every time.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong with him.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong with him, right? And the great ones are the ones that figure out how to make you pay for that.
And defenses have a full season of data of what you're trying to do.
Right.
They know what you want to do. They know where you're comfortable. They know what you're trying to do, and they're not going to allow you. And I think early in the season, we're starting to see a little bit of that with Wemby. But I think that Fox will help, and I think Harper will help, and I think that just sort of him looking at this tape and talking to coaches, and someone tells me that Wemby's going to be just fine.
Okay, my first loathe is Thursday nights, the night that we are doing this podcast, and it's not. Look, I'm glad that there are so many games that are nationally available now. I resent that I have to subscribe to literally everything in the world to watch all of them, but I'm thankful for that. This is when I know I'm getting old, Jacoby, is I miss, over and over again, I find myself missing things the way they used to be, right? And that to be, forget cable, like forget the cable, thing, right? Forget that, because that's an obvious one. I'm talking about like Thursday nights. That's basketball night. Like that's the NBA on TNT.
On TNT.
And that's what's going on. There's going to be a doubleheader, and who's playing in that game. And now we got this one game that's going on tonight, and there's an NFL game going on. And then the same way that because I've been doing things the same way for so many years that I don't like it changing. Like I still to this day, especially living in the South, 2:30 is the CBS SEC game. And it's not anymore. Like you turn it on, it's friggin' like Iowa and Northwestern or some horrible Big Ten game. And it's like poor Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson having to call that. And it's like, no, this is supposed to be Bama, Georgia. That's what's supposed to be on at 2:30 on CBS on Saturday. And NBA basketball is supposed to be a doubleheader with inside the NBA on Thursday night. And that's like the TNT. That's the team that got center stage on TNT. And then there's going to be a late West Coast game. And so I guess just because when we're going through, are we going to record on Thursday night or are we going to record on Friday morning? The idea that we would just go, well, there's only one stupid game on Thursday night. And honestly, it's a total throwaway. Suns Clippers, like who cares?
Well, a lot of it is the cup games on Friday because they have the cup games on Friday now. So next week there's only 3 games on Thursday night. None of them are interesting, and we'll be recording again on Thursday night.
But now, and I don't because all of my things that I've been used to my whole life, they're all gone, right? Like there's not the 2:30 CBS SEC game. There's not Thursday night NBA. There's friggin' 2 Monday night football games. There's football every night. Like I don't like it. I don't. Don't start with like the USC is in the Big Ten or something.
Right. And the transfer portal. Guys are playing in 5 different college teams in 3 years. What is happening?
I just want things back the way they were. Like the other night, there was the who was it? was Oregon, then no, not Oregon. It was Florida and Arizona, I think. Maybe Florida, Arizona, somebody like that. But anyway, I was like, there was a big college basketball game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Florida defending national champions. So I'm like, all right, where's that Florida-Arizona game on? You want to take a stab at that one?
No.
It was on TNT.
Oh, that's right. Jalen was involved, I think.
With Brian Anderson, who I love, who's the NBA play-by-play guy, who just called the playoffs in baseball. I was like, what? What is going on? What do you mean? It's like, okay.
Well,
right,
Thursdays, the thing about the TNT presentation was even if the games were blowouts, even if the games weren't as good or somebody was sitting or whatever, you still had the floor being raised by the studio group. You know what I mean? You're still going to have a good time sitting down on your couch and watching NBA basketball.
I'm just used to it.
I have trouble because if I want to go from my NBA app to the Peacock app and then to the Gotham Sports app to keep my eye on, 5 games at a time, it takes so long to close one app and open another app and wait for it to open and click the button 4 times that it's just, you can't just like zoom between games the way you could with League Pass back in the day when you could just put the guide function on and they were all right next to each other. And you can
also,
keep an
my
eye on all the
shit is
games.
like 3 minutes behind. And I bought the most expensive internet I could possibly find. And I see this shit, like, I will be on Twitter and know the outcome of things. And I'll be like, that hasn't even happened yet. Like, how are these people seeing this stuff so far before me?
It's also hard with the FanDuel app, too, because the FanDuel app is before the games. So sometimes if you're clicking between those, you'll be like, wait a second, what happened now? They're only down by 3 now? And then you watch the game, you're like, oh, that's what happened. 4-point play.
All right,
let's go positive.
Yeah, loves.
The Pistons have started well, and Cade is getting all of the glory. But for me, it's a Jalen Duren story. In their last game, he had 22 and 22, and he just looks. I didn't pick him as a leap guy. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't see that coming. But with him and Beef Stew down there, they don't play together that much, but like they're so strong and so imposing. And what Duren has done is just sort of like built this chemistry with Cade. They spent a lot of time together. After the game, Cade literally said this. He goes, Jalen Duren is going to be the best big in the league. And I was like, all right, like that's his teammate or whatever. But there's some pretty good bigs in the league, and I don't have to name them for you. But I love him and Cade, and he had 33 against the Mavs a couple games ago. We all know the Mavs have their problems, but they've got size, right? He had 33 against them. He was 13 for 16 from the floor.
He's also very unique. It's weird. We went through this whole phase where everybody wanted these screen and roll rim runners that could finish around the rim. But then it was like, now we want a guy that can stretch the floor.
Everyone has to shoot. He doesn't shoot threes.
Or we want a big ogre that just stands in front of the basket and plays drop coverage. He's a very unique big. That's kind of like a Ben Wallace-y type throwback. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's a much better offensive player than Wallace and not as good of a defender. But in terms of like just, he's not huge. He's not. Like, I just saw him in person. What's crazy is Cunningham's damn near the same size as him. When you see them standing next to each other, you're like, Jesus.
Duren's a little bit stronger.
No, he is. But I'm saying Cunningham is a house now, and he's a legit like 6'8".
Mm-hmm.
And Duren is much more like 6'8" than he is 6'10".
And he doesn't have a ton of touch either.
No, he's kind of a throwback, like that rim runner. Like, he tags. He also can make plays out of that short roll, right, where he finds the shooter out. So, I love him. That's a Memphis guy too, by the way.
I know.
Played at the covered him here when he was playing at Memphis.
21 years old. He's still figuring it out, and I think that with him and Beef Stew, and and Cade, they've got they hold their opponents to the lowest field goal percentage in the league. I wouldn't have guessed that.
That was the ripped away season here. Imagine if they would have had Duren and Wiseman. Imagine if that was your front line in college.
Jesus.
I know. It was the COVID year.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It's great.
But I'm loving what I'm seeing from Jalen Duren.
Oh, he's awesome. And you want to talk about a team with awesome vibes? That team. Great.
Kay just said he's going to be the best big in the league. Top 20 maybe, but like best in the league? All right.
Hey, man. Hey, they pump each other up.
Well, apparently they spend a lot of time together. They worked out this summer together, and you can really see it. Like there's a real chemistry between those two. And that team, like you said, like it seems like they're having a good time winning basketball games.
All right, I'm going to go with my next love. I'll do Will Richard making the most of his chance. So the other night, and this actually ties into one of your loathes, so this will be good, right?
Yeah.
The other night, there's a Warriors game, and there's no Steph Curry, and there's no Jimmy Butler, and there's no
Draymond.
They're
playing the Kings. There's no Sabonis.
Yeah.
And this is one of my lows. There's no Sabonis. I think they're missing DeRozan too. Or Levine. There's no Sabonis. There's no Levine.
And so the Kings ended up winning the game 121-116. But this is the reason I'm bringing this up is because every once in a while you have one of these. And though this rookie class has been loaded and has gotten all kinds of accolades already, when you look up and down like those player lists, whether it is VJ Edgecombe or Cedric Coward or Cooper Flagg or on and on and on.
Oh, yeah.
Con Knipple, etc. There's something that a rookie did virtually every night so far this year. Will Richard, who was a low second-round draft pick.
What did we get picked, like 42nd or something?
56th, and Memphis traded him. For Jemai Mashak from Tennessee, who's going to be playing for the Memphis Hustle and like a second-round pick and something else. Anyway, this Will Richard kid, you look around and it's like, stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? That's what they always say. And it's like, hey, kid, you're in the starting lineup. He goes out there. Kerr plays him 34 minutes. The guy gets him 37-3. So they lost the game, but you get to start in your first NBA game, and I got it. It's against the Kings. But can you imagine, like you dream your whole life, right? Like this kid was just playing at Florida last year on that national championship team. And not nearly the most highly regarded of the players, even though he did hit a bunch of threes in the title game against Houston. But he was a guy that got drafted in the 50s in the NBA draft. And then Steve Kerr, while all these guys are out, says, hey, you're starting tonight. And you go out and drop plays,
and you're going to be in Steph's spot.
You drop 30 the first chance you get to start? Shout out to you, Will Richard. I know they lost the game 121-116, but I love these kind of stories. A kid that gets drafted in the second round, we're less than 10 games into the season, the coach says go start, and you go and get 30 points in your first NBA start. 99% of the NBA players that have ever played will never score 30 in a game. Ever.
I think that's fair to say. Sure.
Yes.
Probably higher than lower than 99, but yeah, we're not going to argue.
It's close.
Or whatever. Yeah, sure.
It's close. Never scored 30. He scored 30 the first time he ever played. That is awesome. I don't know what's going to happen with his career. I don't know what's going to happen with him. But, dude, can you imagine that you got the call to get to go play and you went out and dropped 30 the first time you ever played in the NBA as a starter? For a franchise like that, that is awesome, man. Shout out to you, Will Richard.
Yeah, good shout out to Will Richard. But that was one of my lows, is just that game. I mean, to have, because it did. Listen, I don't know if they could play or not, but it felt like it was like Draymond's rib. He's got a bruised rib or something, and then it's Jimmy Butler's lower back. Steph has a legit illness. He's actually missing the Cup game tomorrow. I think it's against the Nuggets, so he's actually sick. And then Sabonis, I think, had a rib. And it's just like literally like the 5 biggest stars that were supposed to take the floor. None of them were on the floor. And then Russell Westbrook broke a record and said he was the greatest rebounding guard of all time.
I respect giving yourself your own flowers.
I love it. But he said humbly. He goes, humbly, I'm the greatest. That's the opposite of humble. It's like when someone says no disrespect, but you're like, humbly, I am the greatest rebounding.
It's like when I was a little kid, there were people in St. Louis that were super mad at Ricky Henderson. Right? So Ricky Henderson broke the all-time steals record, which was held by St. Louis legend Lou Brock. And like he holds up the base and he's like, Lou Brock was the greatest, but I'm the greatest now. And they're like, hey, screw this guy. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of like what Russell Westbrook was doing. Jason Kidd was the greatest, but I'm the greatest now. Humbly.
Well, Jason Kidd might have to play for the Mavs soon, so maybe he'll get the record back.
All right, next. But next on my load, you're going to love this. Mitchell Robinson free throws. So this actually came back into focus because of Rick Pitino.
I have no idea how you put this on here. Because I haven't heard this story. I was looking at it, I was like, free throws? He hasn't even shot free throws this year.
Okay, because Rick Pitino went on morning radio in New York with Boomer and them.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I called Tibbs at some point, and I said, send Mitchell Robinson over here. I can fix him. And he goes, and then I watched him last night shoot free throws, and I can't fix him. Everybody starts laughing, and I was like, come on, bro. Rick Pitino, who's been coaching basketball for 60 years. So the whole thing was he had once called Tibbs as fix it. But the reason this came into focus is because of this Pitino deal. And then now, of course, it becomes a story. For his career, he has shot 52% from the charity stripe, and then everybody did Hack-a-Mitch last year, right? Yeah. Where the Pistons did it, and he connected on 27% of his free throws when they did it.
Remember that one game against the Celtics when he hit 6 for 6?
Yeah, and even with that, it was 45%. But the reason I put it on here is because Rick Pitino going on a radio show saying not even I could fix him is absolutely hilarious. Also, unbelievable. It's lit. Wouldn't you think? Sometimes I just don't understand. And maybe I'm goofy. Wouldn't you think if you're Robinson, you can do literally everything else you need to do.
Everything else. Do you see his stat line? He played 16 minutes and had 9 offensive rebounds. Think about that.
It's unbelievable.
16 minutes and he had 9 offensive rebounds.
I don't understand why you wouldn't just that's the only thing you would work on all summer. You know what? I'm just going to become a good free throw shooter.
He's put the work in. There's a clip at the beginning of the season. I think it was last year, and it was Mitch Robinson playing pickup against civilians. And I'm telling you, you would not know the difference between him and Kevin Durant if you watched him in this pickup game. I'm talking wild. Between the legs, jump shots. It was just wild. And I'm like, that's Mitch Robinson? It was crazy. It was crazy.
It's crazy. And so, yeah, Rick Pitino going on radio and then making everybody laugh by saying, not even I could fix him. It's just unfixable, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's unfixable.
That's pretty good. We're on loathes?
No, back to loves.
Okay, good. Sixers-Cavs game, right? Interesting game. Garland came back. Obviously, he's, not himself quite yet. But I think it's really important for the Cavs, who, they're fine. Donovan Mitchell scores 46 points, right? And, I think especially this year, that's a big number, He had an offensive output. And after the game, he said he was playing 2K against a child. And the child said he hasn't seen any highlights from Donovan Mitchell in a while and that Donovan Mitchell is washed. And that is what motivated him to go out against the 76ers and score 46 points.
I love this.
I was shocked. Now, whether he was 1% motivated by that or 99% motivated by that, I just love the idea that after 46 points, he gets asked a question about his game. And he's like, well, let me tell you about a story about playing 2K earlier today. A child disrespected me.
So about a year and a half ago, I said, you know what? I'm going to get back into this. The college football game came back to video games. So I got a PS5. I got the college football game, and I said, I'm going to do this. I love this. It's come out in the summer. This is going to be great. So I started doing it, and I started to feel like I was getting pretty good. And then I started playing against people that I knew, right? And then I had to go, and I had to buy the headset. And I was like, all right, I got the headset. And I had been out of this. I hadn't done it in so long, right? Like any kind of gaming. Bro, when I tell you I bought that headset, and one of the things when you go on the college football game, just like with any of these, you're online, and you can just say, I want to play. Yeah. And it just matches you up with an opponent.
And you're talking to somebody.
Yeah, except I would leave my headset like on mute. You would not believe the way people talk to you on video. I would leave the thing on and wouldn't even talk, and they don't care. They will still just talk the entire game. They'll be like, yeah, bitch. Like, you mean another one. You can't stop nothing. Whatever. Bro, the worst night ever, I'm obviously playing some guy who's in a house of him and a bunch of his buddies, and all of them start in on me. All of them. I am playing with Oklahoma State, and they have a running back named Ollie Gordon, who's now a Miami Dolphin. And he's supposed to be the best running back in the game. And I swear to God, every time I try to run with Ollie Gordon, the guy, like, they tackle me behind the line. And they all just start chanting, get Ollie going, Vinny Verno! Get Ollie go! Because my name on the screen was Vinny Verno. And they're just berating me. And then you'll play against like a kid. You can hear the high-pitched kid voice.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. They just curse you out the entire game. So I actually relate to I couldn't believe it. I was mortified. I was like, is this what my son does every night? I was like, these kids, they talk crazy. It made me understand internet culture and the way people talk on Instagram. And like, they really do just talk like this all the time. There's part of it is the gaming culture. Because, I mean, they just say the most reckless things. Like, I'm talking my friends and your friends when we were kids, we would beat the shit out of each other if we talked like this to each other, because you had to play face to face, right? You had to play face to face on a friggin' Genesis. Like, we're both sitting there playing against each other, but on a headset, people can just talk any kind of way with absolutely no consequence. And then last night, obviously, there was consequence.
But imagine doing it to Donovan Mitchell. Imagine finding out you're playing 2K against Donovan Mitchell and calling him washed.
He said, I hadn't seen a highlight of you in a minute.
It's Donovan Mitchell.
So good.
It's not also, Mike Conley. You know
shout out to Donovan Mitchell for just playing with randos.
Seriously. Just get a little crazy. 2K in. Like, how do you have time in the day to do that?
I mean, you know, they did that. There's that one game that Luka's amazing at.
Oh, it's like a war game or something. I'm not a gamer. I'm not a gamer.
No. But there's a game that he is amazing at. And there's a clip that went around like last year. And he's playing it. And the guy's like, so I can't remember.
He's like, what's your name? And he's like, Luka. And he's like, wow, where do you live? He's like, Dallas. He's like, what do you do for a living? He's like, I play for the Mavericks.
He's like, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Like, just meeting random people online. All right, my next love. I'm going to go with the Denny Avdia experience. First guy to, hey, that's all you needed to knock off the Oklahoma City Thunder. Finally, somebody knocked off the Oklahoma City Thunder, and it was Denny Avdia and the Portland Trailblazers. And, man, you know what was kind of crazy is when I was looking him up, after that happens, obviously, you go, and he was fantastic down the stretch of last season.
Yeah, he's really good.
24. He's 24 years old. Top 10 pick in the draft, you know what I mean, in the 2000 draft. And he's just 24 years old. It feels like he's been
I don't
around
think he was
longer.
in the 2000. I don't think he was in the 2000. Draft.
2020. I'm sorry. 2020.
But that last show too.
I did that last week too. Doesn't it feel like he's been around longer than that? Maybe it's just my perception.
Well, in Wizards years are like dog years.
I just looked up and I'm like, damn, man, he's still just 25. I figured Denny Avdia was like, coming into those prime years. I thought more like the
27, 28.
Yeah. Like maybe like 26, right? But no, just 24 years old and coming into and starting this prime. And you're like thinking to yourself, damn, man, if most guys aren't the best versions of themselves until, 26, 27, 28, 29. Like so far this year, 24 points a game, 6.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists. And it's like,
and looks absolutely unstoppable sometimes.
Yeah, this needs to be monitored. This needs to be monitored, right? Because this is an ascent. And then when you look and you go, damn, man, he's still just 24 years old. He is younger than what I would have thought. And then as awesome as he is currently, to think, bro, you're not even close to when your prime. I mean, your prime is 3 years away. So what does your prime look like if this continues? If we're on the trek where you're just going to keep getting better and better, he's somebody that absolutely has to be monitored as a guy that could really take a big leap. And now we're looking up in a couple of years, and it's like Denny Avdia is like an all-star. Like Denny Avdia is a big-time player. We did this with Markkanen, right? Mm-hmm. We did this with Markkanen. That's the kind of came to my mind where it's like, next thing, like Lauri Markkanen's been discarded by a couple different teams, and now he's all NBA. What the hell happened here? Denny Avdia, 24 years old right now, still got a lot of room to grow and a couple of years until he probably hits whatever is the pinnacle, and he is already started off great and is having a fantastic early season.
I wish Scoot was there to help him, and I wish Scoot was what he was supposed to be when he was drafted. There was like a Scoot versus Wemby conversation before that draft, and I wish Shaedon Sharpe was more than just this potential prospect factor, that I think could make them really interesting. And I also wish that the father of my children, Chauncey Billups, didn't get arrested for a mafia-related gambling ring.
Big comeback for the Blazers and a huge win. By being the first team to knock off the Thunder this year. Yeah. They were down big. They were down 20+ in that game.
Yeah, it was Denny Avdia brought him back. The Thunder were missing a ton of people. I think they're on a second of a back-to-back, too.
No excuses.
It wasn't the greatest Thunder performance.
No excuses.
I think they were missing a lot of people. And
no excuses.
And on a back-to-back.
They needed to take a scar.
You're still scarred. The only people that are scarred by the Thunder in the championship last year are you.
Well, and Tyrese Halliburton.
I don't know. This is my next love. I don't know if you know this about me.
You're starting to talk like you're about to take like you're about to give people advice like late at night on a slow jam station.
No, not at all. I'm about to do the opposite. Talk about something really stupid that makes me happy.
Okay.
I love water parks. I love water slides.
We're on loathes.
No, we're not. You just said you love the Danny Avdia experience.
And then we go back and forth on love and loathes.
God damn it.
It's so stupid. Go ahead and do water parks, and then I'll do
I'm doing loathes. This is just going to be, I'm going to be one sentence on this one.
Good.
I'm still mad about insights to excellence, and I will never get over it. And now people are starting to come on to my side of this thing.
You can't do this every week.
I think they plan on putting out more, but they're starting to get embarrassed that they had Michael Jordan for an hour, and they talked about it for a year, and he doesn't say anything interesting. I hate insights to excellence.
All right, you can't do that. All right, then I'll make mine quick too. My next load, and I really shouldn't do this, but I have to. It's Halloween candy. And here's why. It's not that I loathe candy. It's that I loathe the presence of it everywhere for this past week. I'm gonna make a confession to you. I have eaten at least 6 fun-size Snickers today.
Today?
Today.
That's a lot. After 5, you're like, I'm going to go have another one right now.
No. It was 3 early. There's a big, look, it's just omnipresent. There is a big, pot at my work of Halloween candy. It's just there, and anybody can have it. Mm-hmm. And every time I walk by it, I grab another Snicker bar out of it. And then my kids went trick-or-treating, and so it's just there. So I used to be one of those guys that, if I wasn't, I used to have, when I got super health conscious in my 20s, I would have, a big cheat day, right? And I would just gorge on Saturday. That's what I was going to do. And then I would eat good the rest of the time, right? Well, on Sunday, I literally had to pour things either down the drain or throw them in the trash. I can't have it around. If it's around, I don't have the self-control not to eat it. And what I'm saying is I can't throw away my kids' Halloween candy. And it is hidden, but I know where it's hidden. So I will go, and we're going to get done with this podcast.
No.
And I'm going to, yes, I am going to eat another fun-size Snickers.
Yes.
Yes.
You're a psycho.
Yes. And I can't help myself. If the candy is around, and it's only this time, because it's not like I'm going to go buy it. I'm not going to go buy it. I don't just have it around all the time. But if there's a gigantic bowl of it, I'm not going to walk past it, and I'm not going to act like I don't know where it is, and I'm going to eat it. And so I just have to pray that this thing gets eaten rather quickly, or that the Snickers and stuff are gone. I really don't get all the other stuff. I can look at the Hershey bar, and I can't look at it. You can't just put a fun-size Snickers in front of me. You can't.
Really?
No, I'll eat it, dude. I want it.
Yeah, I've got more discipline than that. I've got more discipline than that.
I don't. I don't have the discipline. I don't want it.
When my kids were littler, we used to just throw all the candy away November 1st. They'd like the experience of getting the candy, but just they were so dumb that they would just forget that it existed the next day.
I know you have discipline because I stayed at your house, and you guys have you can just have a bottle of vodka sitting around. It doesn't that's fine. If I want it, I want it. I can have a sip, whatever. No, bro. I can't just have that. If it's there, I'm gonna drink. It's not even. Are you kidding me? After I watch the Grizzlies Rockets, that thing would be gone. It's gone.
Yeah, it's not an issue for me. I mentioned I love water parks, all right? Because I do. Tony Parker put his Texas house up. And I watched a 6-minute video of this thing and read 2 articles about this thing. He's got a private water park with a 316-gallon water park with speed slides. I don't even know what those are. Lazy rivers. I love lazy rivers. I could spend 5 hours in a lazy river. Waterfalls, grottos, and a diving area. It's got 8 pools. He also has...
What?
8 pools.
8?
It is just at his house. 8 different pools. And he's got a 6,000 square foot gym with an arcade, a basketball court with a full NBA style locker room, a fruit orchard, awesome, an herb garden, and this is the kicker, a private tortoise habitat. He's got a turtle village in his house. He's got 8 pools.
Do they come with it?
Yes.
Or do you have to stock it?
No, the turtles are coming with it. That's probably part of the negotiation, but the turtles come with it. You also need a turtle guy, too, because I don't think Tony's taking care of the turtles. So you've got a turtle guy that comes over.
Well, I don't even know where you'd find one of those.
Every Thursday.
Some weird
I just
guy
thought this was fascinating. And he's like, I have a lot of friends that fly over from France. It's a long flight, so I want to make sure they enjoyed their time when they got here. I love it. I don't even know what you would do with a private water park.
How much?
I think it was 20 million and now it's down to 16 or something.
Bargain.
I loved it. Yeah.
Tony Parker. Wemby needs to get that.
He went to Dubai and fell in love with a water park and was like, I want one of those at my house. And then hired some like water park designer who designed Six Flags Texas and put a water park in his house.
Can you imagine the upkeep on that?
I just don't have enough friends to make that fun. You know what I mean?
No.
I had like 3 buddies over and we'd be like, which pool is Gary at? Like, I don't know. What would he need a locker room for in a basketball court?
Yeah, you would need a lot of friends.
A lot of friends.
Or charge people to like come use it.
What's the point of that?
That would be a hell of an
But
Airbnb.
would it be just a nice, beautiful, sunny Saturday morning and you're just like drinking a Coors Light in a floaty on a lazy river? It sounds awesome.
And then like just walk over to the tortoise area. And just be like,
check out your tortoise, your favorite tortoises.
My tortoise farm.
Yeah. Sounds awesome. So if you've got an extra $20 million lying around,
wow.
Buy Tony Parker's house.
Oh, what? I'm going to go look this up after we get done here.
Oh, there's a 6-minute video I watched.
So he's moving, huh? I guess he's moving?
Yeah, he's part ownership of a basketball team in France, so he spends a lot of time out there.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess this is my next love. I'm going to go Thompson twins. So
What's
the reason I'm bringing them up, well, odd week. I saw both of them back to back.
They both came through.
I saw Detroit and then I saw Houston. And longtime listeners of the Mismatch will remember that when they were right out of high school and they were going into overtime elite, I got a call that these kids named the Thompson twins were going to be doing a workout down the street from my house. So I went down there and I was like, yeah, I'll watch them. They were with another guy named Tyler Smith, who's also in the NBA. And anyway, so I go down there to this workout and I watch it. At the end of the workout, I'm in Thompson. They're standing under the basket. You'll respect this. They're standing under the basket and the kid grabs the ball. It's underneath the net and he picks the ball up and he jumps up and he puts his elbows at his ears and slams it down straight off vert. Like, I reached down, I grabbed the ball, I jumped, and I went, oh my God, what is this? This is like something out of a Marvel movie or something, right? Met the kids afterwards. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, they could not have been more polite. My son had come with me. They were awesome to him, asking him about his basketball. I asked him about everything. I met the dad, and I came back on here, and I said, look, I don't know what's ever going to become of this. I don't know about overtime elite, whatever. I said, these kids are unbelievable kids. And if we're doing like a character draft, like I hope these, and I don't know if they can, they bricked everything. So they couldn't shoot, but I was like, we're not like talking 1% athletes. We're talking 0.000000001% athletes. And then now to see it come to fruition, they both get drafted, and now like really coming into their own. Asur who's getting a bigger opportunity partly because of the Jaden Ivey thing.
He had blood clots last year, so like he didn't get the same sort of like hype that Amen got.
But he is a unbelievable defender as well, right? They're different. And then I went to a game last night that featured Jaren Jackson Jr., who was 1 vote away from All-NBA, John Moran, who has previously been an All-NBA player, Kevin Durant, who's averaged over 25 points a game since he was a fetus, and Alperen Şengün, who's like as good a big as there's been in the NBA thus far this season. And Thompson was by far the best player on that floor. Yeah. It was unbelievable. I mean, an absolute offense wrecker on defense, and then can do all manner of things offensively to just give you – you have to keep on paying attention. He drives to the basket. He's a good passer. If you give him space and, like, just shoot it, he doesn't use – that space then just functions as a runway for him. And he's to the basket in 1 dribble because he's just a freako. And then when you lose track of him, he's sneaking behind you in the dunker spot, and he can finish everything from that point, right? So now he turns into friggin' Aaron Gordon down when he's doing that stuff because he finishes everything. I mean, he is special, man.
And people
Absolute
always talk about the
special
offensive
talent.
rebounding with Adams and Şengün, but your bigs are occupied with them. And how many times have you seen Amen Thompson come in and get some putback or some jump up, grab it from someone else, and then second jump and put it in? Like, it's really impressive. And one of my experiences with Sir Thompson was last year with the Knicks Pistons series. And I swear to God, if Sir Thompson doesn't have a Jalen Brunson voodoo doll, I thought at some point he might just choke Jalen Brunson out in the middle of the court because he would get 2 quick fouls, sit down for 20 minutes, and he'd come in the game, and Jalen Brunson would just grift another foul on him, and he was just constantly in foul trouble, could not stay on the floor. And I think that was just a function of youth and not understanding sort of like what you can and cannot do. But they've got. The thing I love about that,
they compete every possession. They compete. You have to, like, you notice them. They're doing something. They're in the mix some way, somehow. They're never just an innocent bystander to what is happening on the court. They are forcing what is happening on the court. That's what I love.
Yes, and how many times do you see an offensive player and a defensive player have an unspoken agreement that I'm going to stand in the corner and I'm going to stand kind of near you in the corner and neither of us are going to move and we're going to take this possession off. The Thompson twins don't do that.
Never.
They don't do that.
Never. No.
They don't do that. They're getting involved. Yeah, they're and it's also just like an entertainment factor. It's the wow factor. It's kind of like Wemby. It's just like you just can't take your eyes off them when they're playing in the game.
The guy had a freaking highlight this week for a rebound.
It was crazy.
Who gets rebounding highlights?
It was crazy. Didn't he put it back too?
Yes. Off a missed free throw.
I think he got it.
It was a missed free throw.
He got one and then threw it to Şengün, and Şengün threw it back to him for an alley-oop.
Yes.
It was wild.
Like, what is happening? He's going at a different speed than the other 19, the other 9 guys on the court.
I love him too.
The end stuff.
I have to say it, though. You got to knock down a jumper. It's just like, it's such a glaring development for them. Like, there's nothing else you cannot do. But it can be very difficult to be successful in the National Basketball Association if you can't knock down a jumper. It's just hard.
Yep.
We on loathes. What do we got here? Oh. The Pacers injuries.
Ugh.
It's just, I mean, Halliburton is one thing, but like,
the Nembhard one is the killer.
There's so many killers. They were out McConnell, Cam Jones, Andrew Nembhard, Obi Toppin, Tyrese Halliburton, obviously, Benedict Mathurin, Quentin Jackson, Johnny Furphy. Your guy Ray J was like a key player for them. And they just they signed and waived Mac McClung, and now they just signed Cody Martin. They got an exception. Like, it's just like they're just
wait. I thought it was Monty Morris.
That's right. They signed Cody Martin and Monty Morris. They waived Mac McClung and signed Monty Morris.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing is, if they had Nembhard, Mathurin, and Siakam, they'd be okay.
Yeah.
But it's unsurvivable without those two. They'd be okay.
I didn't think they were going to go on a run like they went on last year without Halliburton, but I thought there was enough there. There was enough there. Yeah.
Those 3 guys, if they had Nembhard, Mathurin, and Siakam, then the other 2 could fill in the gaps. But it's just gotten.
And Toppin. Right. Put Toppin in there too, because he does a lot.
You're right. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
But this is brutal. Brutal.
It's tough, man. It's tough. It's just there's just nothing you can do. There's nothing that Pascal Siakam can do. There's nothing that Rick Carlisle can do. It's just they just don't have guys. They just don't have the players. It gets really depressing. And they lost to the Nets on the Gotham map.
Unforgivable.
I've watched less Nets than any other team in the NBA so far this year. Any other team.
Oh, well, that is totally reasonable.
Yeah.
As my old buddy Bert Sugar used to say, they could play in my backyard and I wouldn't raise the blinds.
Yeah.
And they actually do play in your backyard. And you couldn't care less, right?
Well, yeah, you've seen my backyard. It's just a brick wall right there. So not a great view.
My next load, just again, we're only 10% into this thing, but the Wolves and the Clippers defense, yuck. I mean, these are teams that you thought like these are teams that have traditionally really hung their hat on the defensive end, right? That you knew that they were going to scratch out wins just because they've got guys. They got guys on the wings. They got guys that can protect the goal. And you look up, here's the only teams that have been worse defensively rating-wise thus far in the NBA season. You ready?
Oh, God. I'm
the
trying to guess
Pelicans.
right now. Oh, yeah.
The Pelicans, the Wizards, and the Nets. And then
let me extrapolate on you here.
26 and 27 are the Clippers and the Wolves.
So they were 3rd and 6th last year. And if you think about the roster change, sure, you don't have Nickeil Alexander-Walker if you're the Timberwolves. But, like, in theory, the Clippers got better defensively from a pure, like, roster standpoint. Like Norman Powell wasn't some, like, stopper.
Right.
And I just can't explain it. I can't. I looked at their opponents. That doesn't explain it.
Vet team not trying at the beginning of the season with the requisite effort that is required.
I guess so. But the
point of attack defense, right, is obviously, maybe Harden will start trying a little bit more on defense, right? And that kind of it starts things going. But and then on the Wolves front, I mean, it's like when they run out that front line with Randall and Reed, bro, they gave up 83 the other night in the second half to the Knicks.
Well, the Knicks couldn't miss in that game, to be fair.
83, though?
The Knicks could not miss.
But Jacoby, it's only 24 minutes.
It's crazy.
83 is obscene.
I can't explain it.
No, and that's
I'm
what
watching
I'm
the
just
games.
saying.
I can't explain it.
It's a loathe thus far because it's like those teams were really hang your hat on the defensive end teams last year. And the idea that the Pelicans, Wizards, and Nets are the only teams below those two is crazy. Even one game into the season, it's crazy. Much less, 9 or 10.
Well, you remember the Clippers one game into the season, they lost to the Jazz.
Right.
And that was an indicator.
Maybe
the way the Clippers finished the season last year, both the regular season and the playoffs, and the roster adjustments that they made, I had much higher expectations for them than this. And everyone tells me
early. It's
Ty
still
Lue's
early.
the greatest coach, and Jeff Van Gundy's the defensive coordinator. And
it's early. It's early.
You think Pablo's got his sights on Ty Lue?
I hope not.
I hope not too.
I mean, I don't want to take another guy that's held in such high esteem, and ruin his reputation as well.
It's a tough one. Where are we, Loathes?
No, Last Love.
Great.
Right?
I have no idea what's happening in this podcast.
We've got one
Last
love left.
Last Love. I've had a long relationship with this performer, and I'm so glad that she is back from injury. It's the return of the Red Panda. And if you're not familiar with the Red Panda, she is just, for decades, has been a staple of NBA halftime entertainment. She rides a unicycle, and she shoots bowls, just like cereal bowls, from her foot, and they land on her head. And she suffered an injury, and we were all very concerned about the Red Panda, and she is back performing at halftimes. Now, I know you've seen the Red Panda because, you're at all the Grizzlies games.
She's also she's been through hell and back. She had the injury, and then she also had her unicycle stolen.
Yeah. I think the Warriors bought her a new unicycle. I was with some NBA people, Verno, and they did the unthinkable. They proposed to me that Red Panda has magnets in her bowls.
Oh, that's not true.
I Googled it. I saw no online anything about magnets in the bowls.
No, she wouldn't drop the ones that she does because there was a
she
chorus.
She doesn't rate 100. She doesn't go 1,000% from the field.
Well, there was a chorus of "We're getting a little Willie Mays playing for the Mets, stumbling in the outfield," for a minute there. But it seems like she's gotten it back.
I'm glad she's back. He's got
the bumpinest theme song ever.
She does have a good theme song. It's a good production. And honestly, it's more fun that she sometimes drops the bowls because you know that it's possible.
Yeah, she's just proving she's real.
Yeah.
That's all.
She's a real one. Shout out to the Red Panda.
Shout out to the Red Panda. My last love is DeAndre Jordan. Look, this is all going wrong for the New Orleans Pelicans. But there was this moment where it's like, this is why you bring in these vets. And I love that there are some OGs still around that are getting to have jobs as just being like, I'm teaching young people the way. And the other night, Derek Queen had a big night. And he's sitting there in the locker room. Did you see this video?
He's strung together a couple good games now.
Yeah. Well, and Derek Queen is undeserving of what is going to be laid upon him, which is, it's not his fault the Pelicans are stupid, right? But it's always going to be this pick was traded.
Of course.
So Derek Queen better, you know what I mean? And then,
of course.
God forbid it ends up being, Darren Peterson or Boozer or AJ DeBanston. It's like, oh my God, right? But that's not his fault, right? And Derek Queen has strung together some games. And Derek Queen is sitting in the locker room and he's talking about his, 12, 8, and 7, like the good performance that he got to have, in a win that they had, no less, I think against Dallas. Yep. And DeAndre Jordan says, no, stand on that. And he walks over and he makes Derek Queen stand up to do it because he's just doing his interview. He's just sitting in the locker room doing his interview, and DeAndre Jordan walks over and says, stand on that. You stand up when you do your interviews in the locker room, right? You just had this big performance, whatever. And Derek Queen just stands right up and then starts talking to the microphone. And I was like, you know what, man? All young guys need this. All of them. They all need these guys. They're going to teach them. They teach them so many things, both on and off the court. And if you needed any better example, it was last year when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander went on an interview, though he never talks about really anything, talked about how impactful Chris Paul was to his career, and about what to do when you're on the road and you've got a family, and what to do about nutrition, and what to do about stretching, and what to do about all these things that are learned. And I did love, they don't need a center. It makes it abundantly clear. They brought in DeAndre Jordan, not to be a basketball player, to be a mentor. Because they look and they go, you know what, whatever the future of our franchise is going to be in part because we just put a lot of stock in Jeremiah Fears and a lot of stock in Derek Queen. And I promise you're going to look down the road in 5 or 10 years and Derek Queen is going to tell you that the most impactful player to his NBA career was DeAndre Jordan. I'll bet you a dime to a donut that that's true. And I love seeing it. And we have now rid our league of vets. Guys, guys that's their role, is being the veteran, being the OG, showing guys the ropes. I even respected that, when I saw Houston the other night, Jeff Green's still on their friggin' bench. You know what I mean? Like, these guys have tremendous value. And a lot of it is about off the court, right? Just learning the ropes, learning how to be a professional, learning what to do with your money, learning how to handle Instagram chicks that are DMing you, learning all kinds of things. And sometimes it might be as simple as learning how to deal with the media in a post-game interview. And so I loved this clip, and I loved this insight into here's why you bring in a guy like DeAndre Jordan, because it will already reap benefits. And Derek Queen will always remember that, and you're going to look up one day, and Derek Queen is telling another young player how to act.
And I think that's great, and I think it's very important for young, bad teams.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like CJ McCollum on the Wizards or something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Where it's just like, because that can get ugly really fast. And things can start to fall apart and people stop caring. And it's just kind of like, I think that if you have a veteran on a young, bad team, they can keep it together and keep focused on development and what's important, because it can, if you go 22-60, like, that's a bad 8 months. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of losing. I think that, you heard Cooper talk about this. I think it was yesterday. He's like, this is the most I've ever lost in my life.
Ever.
And then they went through the stats. We've all seen this video on the internet by now. He's like, in high school, he lost 4 times. In college, he lost 4 times. And he's already lost 4 times here. And it's like, you need veteran leadership around to coach you through that. And I honestly, I can't figure out what's wrong with the Mavericks. For them to be this bad. For them to be this bad.
Their offense is abominable.
It's really bad.
No, it's like bottom of the league in everything. Everything.
It's shocking.
Well, I mean, you don't have creators.
Yeah. I mean,
you don't have. I mean, the lack of creation and shooting, and Anthony Davis,
Yeah, he's available. Out. And then you got an 18-year-old kid who's got a lot on his shoulders.
Right. All right, your last loathe.
This one's simple, man. Eric Spoelstra's house burned down.
Yeah, that sucks.
Middle of the night, he gets off a plane, his house burned down, and we've seen all the stuff, and that's just like the middle of the night. It's like 5 a.m, and you're watching your stuff burn down to pieces, and you just have to do it all over again. It's just like, man, and
a nightmare. We
get like forest fires now, but we don't really get a lot of like houses burning down fires. Like you go around New York City, there's fire escapes in every window because like people's houses used to burn down all the time, but it doesn't really happen that much anymore. It just sucks. Made me feel bad for him.
Last one for my loathe. I was like, I'm scrolling through Instagram the other night, and I was like, oh, finally, I get to see a Desmond Bane highlight. And then it's a highlight of him yanking down a Kongu and throwing a ball at his head.
How many times have you seen it?
I mean, 1,000.
I just couldn't stop watching it.
Bro, and he's gone the last 3 games, 9, 5, and 9 points. I mean, it's been so bad. It's been so bad. It just has not started off well. And again, it's first 10 games of the season. He is an infinitely better player than he has shown so far. But I have to put it on loathe when I was like, oh, good. Desmond. I hope my boy did something good. And then I click on it. I'm like, what? He yanked a guy down and threw a ball at his head? Crash out city. This is what I wanted to see. Thought I was going to get a Desmond Bane highlight. The fact that the best Desmond Bane highlight of the year is him throwing a ball at a guy's head is depressing to me.
The Magic are 3-5. Everyone's darling pick. You can look at the Hawks and you can look at the Hawks and say, well, they don't have they don't have Trae Young and still got some new pieces they're working in. Like the Magic they're not looking good.
No,
they're not looking good.
It looks rough so far. That's for sure.
It looks really rough. And I don't think Paolo's going to be in the MVP conversation if things continue this way. But Desmond Bane, that was sort of entrapment. The ball just happened to sort of float right shoulder high for him, and he was angry. It was wild. That was like temporary insanity. That was wild. That whole clip. The whole clip is I don't want this guy to have an open layup. Fine. So I'll grab him and pull him down by the arm. Maybe it was a follow through, whatever, flagrant one. Fine. But then to throw the ball at his head. The cop was like, what?
And then he starts pointing it. And then he starts pointing at the other guy.
Yes, like what?
Yeah, it was a full on crash out.
It didn't really feel motivated by anything aside from just like
frustration.
Yeah, building frustration from the team bringing you in to sort of create offensive cohesion and hit threes, and he has not done that, and the team is not winning games.
Rough go so far for sure.
It's been a real rough go for Desmond Bane.
Yep. Thank you to our executive producer, Jessie Lopez, as always. Jacoby, I'll talk to you next week.
Must be 21 or over and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. Or 18 and over and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts. Or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.